We're not your classic heroes. We're the other guys.
Mystery Men.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about Kino Lorber's newest 4K release, Mystery Men. But before we do that, if you guys like 4K reviews, movie reviews, some tech and some video game stuff along the way, then please consider subscribing because we do all that here. So Mystery Men was released in 1999, directed by Kinka Usher, coming in at just over 2 hours. 122 minutes to be exact. So I want to start off by saying this is actually my first watch through of Mystery Men. I've never seen this movie. I've been aware of it. I've heard of it. For some reason, it just never came onto my desk. You know, I never watched it. I never really had anything against it, but for some reason, I just never watched it. And upon my first viewing, so this is kind of in that okay to good category for me. You know, I wouldn't say that I was particularly missing something, but you know, it had a pretty interesting cast, to say the least. You know, some pretty big names. You know, you had Ben Stiller, you had William H. Macy, you had Kel Mitchell from All That. That was pretty cool because I never really seen him in anything besides Kenan and Kel and Good Burger. And I wouldn't say this is a more serious role, but a little more serious than the Kel character he plays in Good Burger. So to sum up the plot, it's basically, you know, they're wannabe superheroes, and they're just trying to be vigilantes, saving the town from crime, where there's a, I wouldn't say corrupt, crooked superhero, but Captain Amazing. You know, he's plastered with all sorts of sponsorship and ads across his suit, and he ran out of bad guys to fight, so his secret identity is he's a lawyer, and he wears glasses kind of like Superman, so they can't tell it's him. And William H. Macy goes, it can't be him. He wears glasses, and Captain Amazing doesn't, so it's impossible. And Ben Stiller's character's like, are you kidding me? But so he goes into the courtroom, and he gets one of his favorite arch enemies freed. He needed somebody to fight to be relevant again, and that's kind of where the plot went. And then the Mystery Men, well, they weren't called Mystery Men. They didn't get the name until the end of the movie. But their group, they came in and helped and ended up saving the day. You know, a real underdog story here. But you know, it was okay. You know, I wouldn't. It's no Avengers. It's not a big superhero movie like that. So don't expect that. It's rated PG-13, so it's got some mild childish humor. Nothing crazy. One thing I did notice that I thought was pretty cool. Because this is from '99, so it's a bit older. They did a lot of CGI and computer animated set pieces, for the city and stuff. Championship City it was called, and it reminded me a lot of Batman Forever, where the entire all the shots of Gotham City was all CGI, and it just, I was thinking of Batman Forever every time they showed shots of the city. And it surprisingly held up pretty well. You know, obviously it doesn't look great, but I didn't think it looked terrible. I wasn't like, oh, that looks bad. I just immediately thought Batman Forever. So overall, it's got a pretty funny, goofy story. You know, it's subpar. It's okay. I have no nostalgia for this movie, so I feel like I'm being a little hard on this because I'm sure some people really do love this movie. And if Kino Lorber put the time into making a 4K of this, so this must be special to somebody. But again, I didn't grow up with this movie. This was my first time watching it, so you know, it was just okay to good, like I said earlier, and I will watch it again. Maybe I'll like it more the second time through. I didn't hate it. It's not the Avengers. It's not we're spoiled now with the MCU and these billion-dollar superhero movies. And again, this movie isn't really so much a superhero movie. You know, I mean, they're trying to be superheroes, but none of them really have superpowers. So it's, you know, it floats the line of superhero movie, but by default, I guess I would file this under a superhero movie. One of them throws forks. Kel's character goes invisible when no one's looking. And Ben Stiller's character he just gets very angry. And William H. Macy's character he was very good at shoveling. So, you know, they're having fun with it. They're all having a great time. And it's made to be more funny, less serious. which is fine because there's definitely a place for that. So overall, I think I would give this film a solid 3 out of 5. You know, it's somewhere in the middle of the road for me. Not entirely my cup of tea, but I also wasn't dreading my time with it. You know, I wasn't checking my watch. I was just enjoying the ride. I think you do feel that 2-hour runtime just a tad bit. I think if they would have shaved even 15 minutes off of this, that would have I would have appreciated that a little bit more. But you know what? We got what we got, and that's fine. I'm sure a ton of people really enjoy this movie. And that seems to be true because Kino Lorber did a 4K of it, and we're going to talk about that now. So, Kino Lorber, they do fantastic work, and they just put out The Mystery Men on 4K. And I think they did pretty good work with this Mystery Men on 4K. So, right off the bat, just showing off this slipcover. I really do like the cover art, all these colors, the colors and the contrast on the black. I think this is the original theatrical art, but again, I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember exactly. I vaguely remember this, but it might have been more green. I don't really remember. But when you pull off the slipcover, you have the same art on the inside in the Kino Lorber fashion. They don't do any of the reversible slipcover or any disc art. They put their own Kino Lorber Studio disc art on there, and that's fine. You know, if some people take these out and they put them in their binders and they see Kino Lorber, the KL, they know it's a good disc because Kino Lorber made it. So you have your 4K and you have your Blu-ray. So the Blu-ray does have the 4K scan on there, but downgraded to 1080p. Also, one thing to note, the Blu-ray is region locked to region A, where the 4K seems to be region free. Now, I see a lot of these boutique labels, specifically Scream Factory lately, has been region locking their 4Ks. And in the past, generally 4Ks are always region free, which makes the 4K format awesome, especially with overseas releases and stuff like that. So Kino Lorber left it region free, it seems. I don't see any region stamp on the disc, so it leads me to believe that this is region free as it's a 4K disc. So all of your extras are going to be on your Blu-ray disc. That's generally how these releases work. That's the reason they keep these Blu-ray discs in there. I think there was just an audio commentary on the 4K, and that's kind of the pattern that these studios do. You know, when they do these 2-disc sets, they'll put just an audio commentary, something small on the 4K disc, and then pack out the Blu-ray with the rest of the special features just for space-wise. And I guess they don't want to convert all the special features to 4K. So this is a brand new 4K scan of the original camera negative. Now this scan does have Dolby Vision and HDR on it. I watched in Dolby Vision, and man, can I say, this movie was beautiful. Kino Lorber does fantastic work. I think even their last release, which was actually a Ben Stiller movie also, Tropic Thunder, which is pretty funny. Maybe they're going through all the Ben Stiller movies now. I hope we get Zoolander in 4K. That'd be pretty cool. But it looked really amazing, to be honest. I thought the visuals they nailed, especially for like some of that older CGI, and for a movie from 1999, you know, that's like right on the verge where they really started playing with like digital stuff and going really heavy with CGI, and you know, they did a lot of practical effects in this movie. I think it converted to the 4K format flawlessly, honestly. I think this scan looked very beautiful. There's a lot of colors in it. So like this one scene that really stood out to me when they were at one of their houses, they had like that fake AstroTurf green, almost like a golf course around a pool. And the pool was like very blue, and the contrast of the blue and the green just popped right off the screen. It just, the colors really looked great in this movie. You know, again, it's their superhero costumes. Not that they had like extravagant, colorful costumes, but there's just colors and stuff everywhere in this movie, and I think it looked really good. Just random scenes, I'm just looking around, and just you can see the gloss on the floors, and just like the texture and the sharpness of the picture was perfect. There was still some film grain in there, so they didn't wipe that clean. Like, there was a very little bit of film grain you can see in there, and it still looked like a movie. It didn't look like Gemini Man where it's 60 FPS clean as hell. It still looked like a movie that was shot on film, but it just looked really, really good. And I really have to applaud Kino Lorber's work on this, because I think they nailed the visuals on this. I think it is a beautiful 4K scan, and I am very happy with the picture quality of this. That also tends to be a thing when, you know, when these boutique labels put Dolby Vision in any of their 4K scans, it usually comes out amazing, especially if it's up in that 12-bit area. It looks great, and Kino Lorber does fantastic scans. Now, as far as audio goes, this had a DTS HD 5.1, and it sounded really, really good. You know, there was scenes where the bass was shaking my entire house. The surrounds, the rear surrounds sounded fantastic. There was a lot going on behind my head. The front was very heavy. You know, I think it was a really, really good 5.1 track. Could they have upgraded to an Atmos? Maybe, you know, I would have appreciated a proper Atmos track. But again, it wasn't needed. I think the audio track sounded perfectly fine. Except there's one exception that I noticed. Now, there was a scene, back to the scene actually that I was talking about around the pool. So they were sitting outside at like a picnic table or like yard furniture table. All of a sudden, like the audio, it's not that it dropped. It sounded like, you ever hear when they do like interviews outside and you can kind of hear the wind, and you heard the mic change, and you heard like all the wind and the other stuff. So it sounded like they didn't edit this section of audio. So it sounds like they missed a spot with the audio here, because it lasts for like almost 2 minutes. There's just a whole conversation. I mean, I don't want to say that it takes you out of it, but you really hear the audio change, and it's very strange. I was very surprised. I actually paused it. I checked my player. I checked my TV. I thought I sat on the remote, or I thought I pressed the button or something. And no, I didn't do anything. And then the next scene, it just fixed itself. So, I mean, that's the only issue I really had with the audio, that I just wanted to point that out, because I'm curious if you guys maybe have the same issue. And I'm curious if there's going to be replacement discs for that, because that kind of is a problem. Again, it was only about a minute or so of audio track, so it's not like it was the end of the world. But I just thought it was pretty interesting, because I've actually never experienced that with a movie before. So overall, I think Kino Lorber did a fantastic job with this. With that small little hiccup in the audio, you know, it's something that can be overlooked, I guess. You know, there's been worse. I'm the only one, then maybe I just have a defective disc. Maybe this is going to be a bigger problem, and there's going to be replacement discs in the future. Who knows? Yeah, if you guys had that issue, tell me down in the comments, because I am curious if I'm the only one, and I want to know if I should contact Kino Lorber or not about it. If you guys do want to pick this up, we will put our Amazon affiliate link down in the description. Buying from our affiliate link is no extra cost to you, and it helps out the channel, and we greatly appreciate it. If you guys enjoyed this review, please consider hitting the like button, because that is one way you can help us out. But until next time, guys, have a great day.